You are welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation channel, an end time platform. Today we are focusing on a judgment. We are talking about Romans 1 verse 28, judgment on America. And judgment has already begun in America. And before we go into that judgment, we read Romans 1:28. What God does to people who have rejected God. They mock God, they rebel against God, and God will give them up. Romans 1, verse 28. The judgment on America is happening, and it is a particular type of judgment. Romans 1, verse 28, judgment on America. Romans 1:28, for the record, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. The Lord gives people to a reprobate mind so that they will continue to do those things that are not convenient. People who are given to a reprobate mind will continue to sin, and they will do things that are an abomination unto the Lord. The judgment is coming, and the judgment has already begun in America. It is God judging America, a nation that are considered to be the Babylon of this world, and America has been given to a reprobate mind per Romans 1, verse 28, because America has not retained the knowledge of God. It's a nation boasting to be a Christian nation, established Harvard University, even to provide a platform to spread the gospel to the world. A nation that has an inscription on their dollar bill, in God we trust, in God we trust, and a nation that has produced great evangelists, including Billy Graham, a nation where the Bible and the scriptures crusades are held in almost every city, and the Bible is upheld, and the scripture um, is easy to find. But that nation has given herself up, and the Lord has given them up to a reprobate mind. And we are doing an illustration with gender politics in America, as we focus on an article that was written by prophecynewswatch.com, and I'm focusing on that. And the prophecynewswatch.com, in an article May 26, 2026, talks about a museum, Smithsonian American Women History Museum. Smithsonian American Women History Museum. It's very simple. Um, Women have done a lot in America, and the museum is built to honor the women. The issue is, should the women be biological women, or should it also include any other women, including those who are women because they have transgendered from men to women, or including people who are men but they prefer to be called women. And so that's the issue. A debate, a political debate in the US Congress, whether Smithsonian American Museum should be dedicated to biological women only. And how did America get to this level? And the Bible talks about two genders, a man and a woman. And the Christian story talks about Adam and Eve. The Messiah himself said that for this cause, a man should leave his family and join a woman so that they will be one. But that's not what is going on now. There's a lot of politics about gender in America, a nation that professes to be a Christian nation, a nation leading the Western culture to destruction at the time when the Lord is coming to judge the world, including judging the things that offend God. The Gospel of Matthew says that when the Messiah comes, he will send his angels to all the four corners of the earth, and he will judge things that offend God. The things that offend God includes buildings, and of course it will include the Smithsonian American Women History Museum, if it is dedicated um, to women of all persuasions, following the LGBT advocacy, then it is something that will offend God. And of course, God will destroy those things that offend God, including gay bars, gay restaurants, and gay cafes over the world, starting from Tel Aviv, a nation, a city that is noted to be the gay capital of the world. We are talking about Smithsonian American Women History Museum. It's a simple museum acknowledging the contribution of women in America. But now there's a debate. The debate is, should it be dedicated only to biological women? Now, obviously, I will have thought that that debate will not happen at all, because when the Bible talks about women, we know who women are, and so there should be no debate about who is a woman. But in America, during the Supreme Court hearing, the nomination of um, Justice Ketanji Brown, and they asked her a question: what's the definition of a woman? Of course, the question is very simple, but she dodged the question. She did not answer the question because she wanted to be politically correct in America, where nowadays um, gender advocates, they consider um, many genders, and the American government considered a gender other than a male and a female the X gender, the X gender. And I believe that a country even like Bangladesh was coerced, a poor country, Bangladesh was coerced to add another gender to the genders that they have. And that is an abomination unto the Lord. How has God given American up to a reprobate mind? Here, a debate about who is a woman, who is a man, is part of the reprobate mind. And nobody argued about who was a man, who was a woman during the time of Adam and Eve. Nobody debated about who was a woman and who was a man. Even during the days of Lot. The days of Lot were the days where the Lord destroyed the cities because of the abominable cultural ideology. but they did not hold LGBT flag. They did not hold debate about whether to include biological men and biological women in sports. But now the debate is going on. We see gender politics in female sports. And the issue is whether transgendered women should be engaged in female sports in America. And there's sports politics, and biological women have lost competitions because of men coming as women, masquerading as women, having transgendered. We talk about preferred pronouns. They prefer pronoun to be given to somebody um, in order to be politically correct in America. And so when a nation is given to a reprobate mind per Romans 1:28, then you even see cultural confusion in sports, in ordinary sports, cultural confusion. When there's an athletics game going on, whether men are competing with men and women are competing with men, whether men should be allowed into female sports is an issue. If that is the case, when the Olympic Games began in Greece, that issue was not there. Whether men should compete with women in the game. Why shouldn't men compete with men and women with women? And that confusion has come in America at a time when the Lord has given the nation up to a reprobate mind. And that confusion has also occurred in restrooms, bathrooms in America for boys and for girls. It's a confusion because America has been given to a reprobate mind. Should boys use restroom for girls, and should girls use bathrooms for boys? Those who talk about inclusionism say that yes, men and women should go to the same bathroom. They should go to the same locker room, and girls can dress like boys, and boys can dress like girls. It's okay. It's okay to be transgender and a Christian at the same time. And so the the bishops, those who are very big in America, including the bishops that are known internationally, they are quiet. They are not talking about the intrusion of LGBT into the pulpit because God has given them up to a reprobate mind. And when there's a nation that God has given to a reprobate mind, in that nation you will see a bishop who is a man who will be very bold to introduce his wife, quote unquote, who is also a man. And it has happened to America. It's because God has given them up to a reprobate mind per Romans 1:28. And when the Supreme Court of the United States rules that a man can marry a man and a woman can marry, it shows that America is a nation that the Lord has given to a reprobate mind is part of God's judgment on America, and it will happen. It is happening before the Lord gathers the nations of the world and judge them. Matthew 25, verse 32. Before the Lord casts people into the lake of fire, the judgment will happen on this earth before the Messiah comes, which is very soon. And here we are talking about Romans 1:28, judgment on America. America has been given to a reprobate mind. Why? Because they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. And so God gave them up to a reprobate mind. Romans 1, verse 28. Why did the Lord give America to a reprobate mind? Romans 1:21. Because that when they knew God, they glorify him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. And that is the Lord giving reasons why America is given to a reprobate mind, such that even when there is a Smithsonian American Women's History Museum, the Congress of America is debating whether the museum should be dedicated to biological women or not. And I believe that it should be dedicated to women who are women. And the Bible says that women are born women, men are born men. And there's nothing other than that. The two genders are supported by Bible principles. But when a nation is given to a reprobate mind, then a debate has to occur whether Smithsonian American Women History Museum should be dedicated to biological women. If you look at America, women have played a major role in American society. I can mention two of them. Harriet Tubman, a black American woman who was a civil rights leader and fought for the abolition of slavery. And I can talk about Rosa Parks, also a civil rights leader. And there are so many other women who have done a lot in America. And the Constitution of America did not even protect them. If you look at the Bible, women played a major role. And at the crucifixion of the Messiah, women were there. The Marys were there. And when you're talking about even war, the Deborahs were there. And they were prophetess and they were judges in the Bible. And in the kingdom of the Messiah, women will also be honored. They will receive crowns. I'm not talking about those who are women because they prefer to be women. I'm not talking about those who are gender advocates and want to call anything as a woman or as a man because it is politically correct to do that. I'm talking about men who are men based upon the principles of the Bible. I'm talking about women who are women based upon the principles of the Bible. At a time when the Lord has given American to a reprobate, boys and girls are in confusion over the use of bathrooms in America. And sports is in disarray in America because men are competing in women's sports. They have transgendered, and they are women by transgenderism, and the Lord is allowing all those things to happen. Um, it is not a coincidence. It's part of God's judgment on people who knew God, but they don't want to retain the knowledge of God. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, to do those things that are an abomination unto the Lord, to do those things that would take people to the lake of fire. Does the Lord care? Yes, the Lord cares. The Lord gives warning. And so this message is a warning. It's a warning to those who know God, but they don't want to retain the knowledge, God in their knowledge. And these are people who are following their own lusts, and they are following the things of the flesh, and they are following demonic doctrines, and they are following apostate gospel, and their pastors are apostates, and they have been captives of Satan with all kinds of lust that are an abomination unto the Lord. They are not preaching about the gospel of salvation, and they want to be part of the world because they don't want to be part of the kingdom of God. They have already rejected salvation. And because they have rejected salvation, the Lord has given them up. And so this message is about the judgment of America. God has given them up to a reprobate mind. And so even when there is a museum that is supposed to be dedicated to women, their Congress will debate whether the museum should be dedicated to only biological women or any other person who calls himself a woman, whether that should be the case. There's a debate going on. And because they have been given to a reprobate mind, boys are confused and girls are confused. Parents are confused. Parents cannot control their children because they've lost control over their children. A reprobate mind, a culture of reprobation has taken over an America. It is not mere coincidence. It's God's judgment. Romans chapter 1, verse 28, judgment is on America. The Lord has given America to a reprobate mind. And so when Smithsonian American Women History Museum is built, they are confused whether the museum should be dedicated to biological women or any other woman. They are confused by the doctrine of inclusion and exclusions. They are confused by gender ideology and gender politics. It's because the Lord has given America to a reprobate mind. They knew God, but they don't want to retain the knowledge of God. And this is why the Romans 1:28 judgment is happening to America. And it is happening. The evidence is cultural confusion in America, Babylon, America, the America that God has already judged, the America that has fallen. And you are encouraged to come out of her, my people, so that you do not partake of her sins and receive the judgment that is coming to America, including the Romans 1:28 judgment, because America has refused to retain the knowledge of God. America is leading the world in mocking God, and now they have a museum, Smithsonian American History Museum, and should it be dedicated to transgendered women or biological women? God has given America up to a reprobate mind. Judgment is coming. The final judgment of America will come when the Lord will destroy that nation with brimstone and fire. This is Messiah Revelation Ministry. Thank you for watching this video and sharing the video. And my thanks go to Ayaha Coleman and Camel PD, who have supported the channel. You share the videos and you also communicate with valuable information. And the Lord is recording your contribution. And may the Lord bless you. And I hope that we will meet in the kingdom of the Messiah. And wherever you are, come out of America, my people. America is under judgment. America has been given to a reprobate mind so that they will continue to do the things that are an abomination unto the Lord. And they are jeopardizing their salvation. Messiah Revelation Ministry, thank you for watching and sharing this video. America is under Romans 1:28 judgment. It has been given to a reprobate mind.